and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. I'm Sarah of Sarah Wing Intuitive Arts, and this is Oracle Storytelling April edition, um, Global Project edition, and Creative Sensitives edition. And what do I mean by that? Well, I know a lot of people are sensitive to one degree or another. And there are a lot of creative types that would say they are sensitive, including myself. And we're all creative to different degrees, and creativity means something different to different people. And when you're a creative person and you're a sensitive person, you tend to be an open person. Some people may describe themselves as more porous, sensitive, open, empathetic, empath, psychic, and to varying degrees, intuitive, whatever category what I'm calling sensitivity fits into. Right now, there's a lot of us that are picking up, channeling, absorbing, whatever term resonates with you, a lot of energy that has shifted in the world. If we're sheltering in place, we're absorbing mass consciousness of a lot of different energies, and some are ones that we might naturally not feel, but suddenly we're being hit with monster anxiety or stress or doubt or panic or fear, and it's hitting us in the most overwhelming ways. And I'm here to say it's not just you that's experiencing this. And also, it's not all yours that you're experiencing. And so I wanted today's edition to be about what are some things coming up for sensitive creatives and what's really happening for us, and what's happening globally that we're sensing, we're feeling, we're healing, we're maybe sorting through or twisting around in our heads. So to start, what I did was I centered myself and did my own process, and then I asked a few questions to start about what sensitive creatives, what are we feeling? What are we feeling a lot of right now? And so I pulled a few cards. The first is battle. So a lot of so when I see this, I think that there's a lot of defense. I see a lot of defending energy, a lot of survival mode. So if to put ourselves in this situation, if we kind of think of ourselves as right here as this character, we see the battles going on all around them. There we have a nice little, we have almost like survivalist shopping that we've seen. Just any images that might pop out at you, or you identify with, or fears that are coming to mind. Here's the global spectrum of fear, anxiety, panic. battle is something that, or defense is something that we experience when we're not feeling safe. And sometimes we're thinking about all these all these possible outcomes or needs, um, that really reinforce the idea of battling against something. In general, if you've ever heard that saying that the more you push something away or deny it, the longer it lingers around, I think there's an aspect of that to it. The other card I pulled was, just to get the cards up, was mirror what's triggering you. Okay. So, yeah. You know what's triggering us? A bunch of stuff that we're picking up on. Okay. So we're picking up on a lot of global anxiety and fear. And we're naturally, as sensitive people, we're helping others process and heal that. What happens sometimes is we identify this huge, overwhelming energy as our own, when really it's a collective energy. And I just want to really press on that point, because as sensitive people, we're used to overwhelm, we're used to taking on a lot, and it can sometimes just be this normal sense we have is overwhelm. But what we're doing a lot of times is we are processing the energy that we're picking up on, because we want to benefit and heal others. So for sensitive creatives, whatever word that I use or word that you use, or maybe this is just an aspect of yourself, the feminine aspect of yourself, that, you know, that wants to shield, to guide, to heal. If those are your intentions, or if you identify with any of that, that's what you're doing now. That's part of your process. That's what's happening. You're definitely picking up on these things. Something else kind of just came to mind. The idea of something that, you know, I talk about with my family, which is, regardless, it could be anything. It could be, you know, it's spring. Maybe some of you are in the house spring cleaning, putting, you know, getting rid of things, or getting donations together that hopefully you can donate some of. And so, say a task like that. Say you're just cleaning out and clearing out a room. Doing that, you are clearing space energetically, and that space you open up, I believe, opens it up for the people, not just that you live with, but the people that you are energetically engaged with, connected to. I think family, however you define it, those people we have very strong rooted connections to. We have, you know, these golden knotted ropes of love that are just always hugging us tightly, as we send love back. So anything that you're doing, even like that, like clearing out a room, when you clear out that space, open out that space, you're energetically clearing that space. You're lifting the energy in the room. You're clearing out space mentally, physically, for yourself, and I do believe for those that you consider family in some way or are close to. And of course, energetically, you're helping clear out some space for the next person you interact with. You're clearing out some of that density, clearing out some of the need to hold on to physical distractions that aren't part of your life any longer or won't benefit you or those around you as you move forward in your life. I think a big part um, of helping anchor and ground and understand that these beautiful gifts of healing that you're doing on a, you know, whatever level you consider it. Maybe you're caring for someone right now at home, you know, and you are the earth angel healer, you know, helper at home. Maybe you are meditating for global peace and healing, you know, and you identify more as a global healer right now. What I think will help to separate, I know I felt like picking this up, but to help separate all the bombardment of healing, all the feelings and thoughts, being the witness on such a deep level, energetically clearing for the world, is to keep in mind what your intentions are, because your intentions for yourself, for not for how everything has to be exactly in that moment around you, but for you, for who you are, those are beautiful intentions. Those are loving intentions. And when you know that, and you sit and you just think of those authentic, loving intentions for yourself, and then you think about a lot of the fear and anxiety that's moving through you, it's a little clearer and easier to know that's not me. That's something I'm helping to heal and clear. What's me is this loving intention for myself. What's me is this loving intention for my family. I did a little channel on one of the books and got, let's see. If we have the awareness to contemplate the expansion of the soul, we are far safer than we may think. Those who still exist in unsafe environments or toxic relationships may not have the time or capacity to consider their spiritual evolution. But the fact that you are here reading these words or hearing these words confirms a depth of safety and a willingness to unveil our highest victory. So that's repetition of kind of what I've kind of been speaking about. We are safer than we think. We're safer than we think. When we don't feel safe, it's because we feel something outside of ourselves has to change before we can feel safe. But on a deep level, on a soul level, on an emotional felt level, on a feeling, sensing, psychic, empathic level, a sensitive level, a deeper sense of knowing level, we know that nothing has to change in order for us to feel safe because we are safe. And I don't say that to minimize any kind of experience that you may be going through now, of any kind of cruelty, toxicity, or abuse. But I say it as someone who has been through these situations and knows what's authentic and what's true and what is part of my life that I've experienced, and it's helped me learn to identify what is authentic and what is for me and what is inauthentic to who I really am. It's we can't control what goes on around us. We can't be everything to everyone. We can only know ourselves. We can only control how we feel, see, and view things, um, which is a wellspring of wealth to move us ahead into our future with our eyes open, making beautiful choices to uplift ourselves. And if we are uplifting ourselves, we are uplifting others by being authentic and aligned and showing up in that way. And what I have been taught and borne witness to time and time again is when I show up that way, other people meet me at that level, however you define these levels. If you want to call them dimensions or levels of consciousness or awareness, or could just be like the nicer, maybe you think, well, the nicer I am to myself, the nicer other people are in conversation to me. And maybe that just is your way of how you see it. When you're showing up for yourself and you're not identifying with the outside, which may have a conflict or something that you don't feel should be there in that moment for you to feel a certain way, and you just show up as yourself, not judging the next moment based on history, and another person is kind to you, I see that, or kind to themselves in the conversation, I see that as you meeting at the same level. So I'm going to just ask what the truth is of the situation. So when we are feeling we are in battle, we are not safe, again, most of the time we are feeling this for others right now. Okay, I'm going to just ask, what is the truth in that situation for creatives, sensitives, and all the characters and categories as you identify right now? A little bit of a reminder in this. So the card is... Okay. So the card is chop wood. And being grounded in the everyday experience, humility. Okay. And let's see what message here. You know, I'm going to stick with just reading the cards. Okay. What I'm really seeing is when I think chop wood, I think of like this this idea of you like somebody physically chopping wood, like it's one of their chores. Like they need to go and cut the tree or something, gather the wood, put it on the chopping block, chop the wood, bring it in for the fire. Like in preparation, like preparation for the winter. Okay, now I know what's happening. Okay. So think of this as like preparation and kind of having that stockpiling. Like growing up, my dad would chop pieces of wood and we'd have the stockpile by a garage. And so it was in preparation for the winter, and then we would have fires during the winter sometimes to heat the house. So where this is battle, this I see chop wood. So I see, instead of all the external, all the battle that we're feeling and sensing in varying degrees, I'm seeing, okay, you know what we're doing right now? We're chopping the wood. We're inside the house. It's like think of like bundled up in the cold, right? And so we have all this chopped wood, right? And we're in our shelter in place, okay? So we're in our shelter in place, we're in our solitude, and we have this big pile of wood. And we're being told, that we need, it's cold outside, we need to stay inside. So we're feeding the fire. We're feeding the fire, and we're like burning through the wood. We're burning through the wood. Here we go. So so this is kind of like the process. So it's like we're processing. And so we're feeling this heat from the flame, from all this wood, right? And we're like processing through the smoke and the flame, because chimney fires, there's smoke in there. So we're processing this. We're feeling that heat. We're feeling that flame. We're feeling that that smoke, that heat. But we're not the wood. We're not burning. These ideas and feelings that are coming through, that we're sitting with. We're feeling the fire. We're feeling the smoke. We can process and release them. We don't have to hold on to them. Process, release them right up through our crown chakra. We can release them we can release them sitting in front of that fireplace and just putting our hands down and releasing them into the ground. And I love that there's this like little broom, because at some point all of that goes up in smoke and flame, and all we're left with is ashes. And it's really easy cleanup at that point. If we've let everything process through, if we don't hold on to it, it's like holding on to smoke and flames. We're choking on it. We can't breathe. We can't go outside. We're told it's too cold to go outside. Here, keep burning this wood. Keep burning this wood. So we can't hold on to the smoke, to the flames and the smoke. It goes up. It's released. And then at the end of it, take a little broom and broom up the ashes, and sweep those away. And it's easy and it's clean. And we're ready to go on to the next. Okay. Wow. Good people. Okay, so what's triggering us? Other people. So what's happening? Let's see. Okay, fantastic. So I love this. So part of being triggered is when there's overwhelm, there's a lot, okay? And we're processing a lot. Some of the things that are getting to us, that are triggering us, that we're not just getting stuck to from collecting it from other people, some of that is triggering us. And what is one of the greatest things about being triggered? We can actually look at what inside of us is being triggered and where we need to heal. And this is a beautiful card for that, because it's the Magician, okay? It's a unicorn. Do you know anything more magically delicious than a unicorn? No. So this is great, because essentially whatever is being triggered in us, that is our own, not nuclear war, that's not ours, or whatever else you want to put out there. But whatever is coming to us right now in these times when we are more confined, more in solitude, whatever is that trigger, we have the power to sit and figure out what in us needs to be witnessed, needs to be heard, be seen, be loved. What is that? What's coming up? And so this is saying there's magic in the air. You can manifest everything you need to be successful, which is basically telling me that during this time, if something is triggering you, you can absolutely identify it, witness it, let it be healed. And if it sounds like I'm making light of it, I'm not. I'm just saying, oh my God, what a great use of time. If you're going to be inside and something keeps bumping up against you, and it's not the news, but something's going on, you can manifest everything you need to heal that. I kind of just jumped into this, and I just wanted to kind of speak to other sensitives, and also mention some things like if you're somebody who dreams a lot, this might be a great time to start recording your dreams and notice patterns coming up. I noticed that I think some of the issues that are triggering me are coming mainly like bubbling up to the surface in my dreams. And what I use is just the recorder on my phone and just use the voice recorder. And I will record those and name them. Naming a dream is something that I learned from Jeremy Taylor, who has now crossed over, but he was a master dream work teacher. He did that profession, or he taught that teacher of student of for over 50 years. And one of the things he suggested to do was to name your dream. And that is very helpful. And I find recording them super helpful because I can wake up in a haze and not even have the covers pulled down, and I can just talk into my phone and it picks up all my sleepy words and I can listen to them later. And so a lot of patterns for me are coming up in dreams. And so to end on that note, I think I just pulled a bunch of stuff, but I think I'm just gonna end on the note of interesting. Okay, so I just happened to open to sometimes just as we awaken, there is a moment when we can almost remember what we are dreaming. It flits in and out, and then, more often than not, it disappears. This is usually all we see of the dim, preconscious struggle between the sensor and the experience of our dream. The sensor is attempting to protect our conscious view of our lives by repressing and rendering the disturbing and challenging dreams unmemorable, while the dreaming unconscious is attempting to wake us up to the as yet unimagined creative but dangerous possibilities that lie unseen and ignored in the midst of even the most dismal of our life circumstances. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Jeremy Taylor. That's it's all oracle and help. That's beautiful. So on the tail of what I was saying, absolutely. So it's saying that the sensor is trying to protect us, from these, these dangerous possibilities that lie unseen and ignored in the midst of even the most dismal of our life circumstances. We have a protector in us that some people call ego, and the ego is never ready for change. The ego will never be ready for change. The ego sees what our circumstances are in this moment. It sees the four walls we're surrounded by, and if we planned our life or believe that all we were or could be or will be in any aspect of our being, we would live within the same four walls for our entire life, which is not true and doesn't happen because life happens. And it's a great reason to, when something comes to mind with your dream, if you are someone that dreams and likes to reflect on them, if you're a vivid dreamer, as soon as you wake up or when it pops back as a memory, record it or write something down, because whatever you remember is most important. Dreams come to us in aid of health and wholeness, every single dream. This sensor that wants to block things, this ego or spiritual ego, this sensor, this fear, false ego appearing real. It's a classic. It's doing its job, because our job is to always be integrating our ego through every life experience. That's part of what we're going to be doing. The sensor will be there to protect itself from what it fears. And as sensitives, we take on a lot to channel for others, to heal for others, because we want to help and heal. We want to, see others, be witness for others. We want to add value, as was just mentioned in a talk I heard. We want to add value to any situation. So just as we awaken, there is a moment that we can almost remember we are dreaming. In that moment, I encourage you to hold on to it, and whatever you find, remember, write it down, and know that just like yourself, your dreams can only add value, add health and wholeness to you. And the scarier things are just these beautiful flags of waving opportunity, saying you have it within you right now. Whatever's triggering you, you have it within you right now to heal. Whatever that is. And it won't be the one and only time you have that opportunity. But when these dreams come up, or you have repetitive dreams, it's saying everything within you is letting you know that you have the opportunity to heal that. If it's a relationship fear, if it's an environmental fear, every time you have a fear triggered, it's an opportunity saying in your waking life, you absolutely have 100% the power to completely transform and heal whatever that anxiety is. You are safe, always. You are loved infinitely. And, keep channeling the knowledge that you aren't alone, ever. You are healing for yourself. You are healing for others. You are healing the world. And you are just a wonderful person. Okay, until next time.